All right, we've got 3 questions on the section that 1.5. I tried to get out of the tin can here for you, but had technical difficulties. So no microphone, still in the tin can. Sorry, guys. We got a triangle that has sides in ratio 5, 6, 7. So you could have something like 5, 6, 7, or they could have been 10, 12, 14, or any multiple of those 3 numbers. You take them all times 3, all times 4. Well, rather than actually try to pick the numbers of trial and error, what you're supposed to do is set up algebraically and say that our short side is 5x, middle side 6x, and long side 7x. And they talk about the perimeter being less than 54. Perimeters add up all the sides. So you get 18x is less than 54. So we find out that x has to be less than 3, not 2, 3. So it could be 2. It says it's less than 3, so x could be 2 if we are, let's see. No, it doesn't restrict it. We could have like 2.9 or 2.95, things like that. So describe the length of the longest side if the perimeter is less than 54. Well, x is less than 3. So let's say x could be 3. So if x could be 3, then we'd have 5 times 3, 15, 6 times 3, 18, and 7 times 3, 21. Now if you add all those up, you get 54, and it says the perimeter has to be less than 54. So if I was going to describe the length of the longest side, it can't be 21, it would have to be less than 21. So the longest side, which 7x has to be less than 21. Okay? So that's that one. 26. Find the lesser of 2 consecutive integers with a sum greater than 16. Consecutive integers can be written like, well, here are consecutive integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 100, 101. Those are consecutive integers. Algebraically, you could write them as x and x plus 1. Let's just find the lesser of 2 consecutive integers with a sum greater than 16. So I need to add up those consecutive integers, and it has to be greater than 16. So I get x is greater than 7.5. This is find the lesser of 2 consecutive integers. Well, the lesser would be x. It says x has to be greater than 7.5. What's the integer that's greater than 7.5? That would be 8. So our small side is x. It says that x has to be greater than 7.5. So we would be looking for 8. Next one was just a regular problem, no words to it. So we're going to go ahead and distribute. Add like terms. And you end up with 60 is less than or equal to 180. And this is just like the equation solving we did where the x is canceled. You've got a true statement. You'd say infinitely many solutions. Or the book, I think, says always. So that's what we have here, a true statement. So we could say infinitely many. That's what a lot of texts will say. Or our text says always. So either one of those two are just fine with me. Those were the 3. I know there was a 4th, but I can't remember exactly what it was. So those were the 3 out of the book section. There were 2 off the worksheet, 13 and 15. 13 off the worksheet says you leave here the same as a long distance friend from Tennessee. So let's say you're here, let's say your friend's down here, and you're going towards each other, and there's a 1,000-mile difference. You travel at a rate of 65 miles per hour. It's important to know that distance equals rate times time. So your distance, I'll say d sub y, standing for or your, is 65 times however long you travel. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to put x. 65x. Your friend's distance, their friends go a little slower, is 60x. Hopefully it makes sense that if you put your two distances together, these are your distances traveled, x is the hours you drive, that it has to equal the 1,000. So you get 125x equals 1,000. Divide by 125, you get 8. So you both have to drive 8 hours. But you drove a little further because you were going faster. You went 65 times 8, 480 times plus 520 miles. Your friend went 480 miles, and notice they add up to 1,000. So it's two parts. You drove for 8 hours, each of you, and these are the distances you drove. The last one that was asked was number 15 on the review, and that was about complementary angles. Complementary angles are two angles, a sub 1 plus a sub 2, whose sum is 90. It tells you that one of them is 18 less than twice the other. So you need to let one of these just be x, and then write down the other one in terms of x. It says the other one is 18 less than twice the other. Well, this is how you write 18 less than twice the other. You actually subtract the 18, that's the one we have to look out for. When I say a number less than a number, it actually goes at the end. Like if I said, what's 18 less than twice 40? Hopefully it'd say you go 2 times 40 and then you subtract 18 to get that answer. So those are my expressions. We know their sum has to be 90. Nice little algebraic equation to solve here. Add over the 18, divide over the 3. You find out that the small angle is 36. You could either take 36 from 90, or you could plug the 36 in here. It's 72 minus 18 is 54, and then verify. These two do, in fact, add up to 90. So those are the questions I saw. List posted by you guys or asked yesterday in class, 1.5, and the 1, 2 through 5 review.